Are you looking at financing your real estate projects? Then this video is for you. I'm going to be speaking from my heart to you today as a developer that has financed projects in multiples of billions over the past 12 years. Financing real estate projects can be one of the most difficult things for developers, project owners, and sourcing for funds, knowing the kind of finance that you need to access can be one of your greatest problems. So this video is for those that have questions and concern on how to finance their project, whether you're a developer, whether you're into construction, or you are looking at going into real estate development. So this video is for you. Real estate is very peculiar. It's very unique. It's not just like any other project that you need to finance. So also is the uniqueness of the financing that you need to have access to. In real estate, you must not mismatch your fund. You cannot afford to mismatch a long-term fund for a short-term project or a short-term fund for a long-term project. There will be problem. In fact, you will need to explain. So that is the reason why we put this video together. This video, I will be examining some of the financing options that are available in the real estate sector in Nigeria. And in some cases too, you might need consortiums of lenders to come together to help you finance your project. In your project planning, financing is very key. So that is the reason why this video is very important. Just follow me as we run through some of the most important elements and financing options that are available. Some you are familiar with, some you might not be familiar with it. Just listen with an open mind. Let's go together. This video might not answer all your questions, yes, because of course, it's not possible for us to be able to answer all the questions that we have on financing in just very short videos. I mean, it's really not possible. So don't hesitate to contact me. So I needed to put that there. And also, before you take any decision based on what you are going to be learning from this video, it is important that you seek counsel. Very important. So number one way you finance, very popular, very popular. Number one, personal financing. Personal financing. So depending on the size of your project, some projects, your personal savings, your personal income will be able to finance it. Of course, if you are building a house, maybe a 2-3 bedroom bungalow, for instance, your personal finance or your personal savings might be enough. In fact, your salary might be enough, depending on how much you are earning. It might be enough. But for some, it might not be enough. So some, it might not be enough. So we really need to look at options other than personal finance in that case or in that category. So the next option that we are going to be looking at in financing your project is equity financing. So equity financing, I mean, I know that you have heard that word before, but I'm going to break it down. I mean, project developer to project developer so that we can understand. Basically, equity financing is you are selling part ownership. It could be of that project or it could be of your company. So it's one of the cheapest way to raise funds, actually, and it's usually one of the most difficult ways to raise funds too, because you need to put some document together and you must be able to present a very valid business case for people to come and buy into something, because people buy into something because they believe that they are going to make money out of it. I mean, there's no cheap fund out there, there's no loose fund, or there's no free money out there. Anyway, there's no free money out there. So equity financing is one of the ways you can actually finance your project. And probably you have started the project already. It's possible that you have started the project already and you are finding it difficult to get people paid. One of the smart way you can, creative finance that you can employ, which we have done, and I've seen other developers do too, is that I remember there's a particular project that implement that in Abuja. We call it sweat equity. Sweat equity. So how does this sweat equity is a form of equity financing too. So how does this work? So basically, sweat equity is a situation whereby you bring in, maybe for instance now in project, in a typical project, so you bring in artisans together and tell them, see, artisans, I know that I'm supposed to pay you 1 million, but I'm going to pay you 200,000. 800,000 out of the 1 million, you own part of this project. I don't know whether you understand it. So it's basically sweat equity. So like I said, I will not be able to break it down because of the confine of limitation of this video. So sweat equity is a very, 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 very smart way. And you can achieve sweat equity when you have reputation capital, when the people know that your word is your bond, beyond whether there's going to be legal document which you are supposed to put in place will be available, but your word are your bond in this very particular claim. The people must be able to trust you. Is very, very important. So you cannot afford to treat people rather in a very shabby way. You cannot afford to treat artisans in a very shabby way. Sweat equity is a form of equity, and it will imagine you are building up. For instance, the project I'm talking about in Abuja. In that project, they are doing mass housing, and they were able to reduce the cost of construction significantly because they use sweat equity. So all the bricklayers that worked on that project, they were paid just a fraction of what was due them, and most of them now own a property within that project. So it happens a whole lot. Whether you want to start a project, it can be part of your project planning, or you already have a project that you have started and it looks like the way it's going, I might not be able to finance it, or probably variation is dealing with you seriously. So sweat equity is one of the ways you can go about it. It requires a lot of goodwill, and I hope you have that. Number 3 is an hybrid model. It's usually called the Maziani model. So it's a combination of debt financing and equity financing. Is a mixture of both together. So because, like I said, depending on the capacity, projects can be as low as 5 million naira. Real estate projects probably are just building a 2-bedroom carcass, for instance. Maybe 2 million naira or 5 million naira can do that, and it could be as much as building a 64 unit of apartment like we are doing currently in Lakwe. That's going to be costing us over 2 billion naira. So that type of project is huge, is massive. So there are different types of projects. So, and all these financing options might not work for your own. Some of these financing options might work for your own, in your own case, and some might not work in your own case. Do we all get that? So this hybrid model helps you to bring in equity and also help you to bring in debt. So you might be wondering that, okay, why do I need debt if I've already gotten equity? The equity you've gotten might not be enough, or you might not want to risk all the equity you have in the project or in the company, and you might just mix it up with debt financing, knowing fully well that you will be able to pay. So that is another model that is available. Number 4 is trade by barter. Somebody might be wondering, yes, trade by barter is similar to sweat equity, but it's a little bit different. So probably there are skills that you have that, as a developer, probably some developers are architects, some are structural engineer, some are mechanical engineer, some are electrical engineer. You can trade your skill with other artisans or professionals that you need on that project. So take for instance now, let's say that you're an architect and you know that a civil engineer, you guys will still need each other one way or the other. Or let's say you're a civil engineer and you're going to design the structure for an architect guy maybe later in the future. You can say, see guy, I have a project coming up, but let me do this for you for free so that you too can do my own project for me for free. So basically that's what trade by barter model is all about. So it helps you to reduce the costs. We do that a lot. For instance, we engage people, we tell them, see, okay, this project is going to cost you, or probably the project is going to cost us 3 million naira. Okay, don't worry, guy, we'll give you 1 million naira, 2 million naira, I'll give you in land. So that is a form of trade by barter system. These are native intelligence that you can implement, especially in this age and time where the cost of construction is shooting off the roof. And of course, it's still costing you, because what you have, whether you are using your professional service or you are using something that you already have, is still costing you in one way or the other. But it's an intelligent and native way to reduce your cost significantly. So, number 5, real estate investment trust. I want you to listen very, very, very carefully. It is usually called REIT, Real Estate Investment Trust. So basically, real estate investment trust is where you raise funds from people that come in together as a cooperative to fund a particular project, either to co-own it together or as owners or as equity owners in the project. So this is a way of pulling funds together. However, everybody dropping their fund in this trust. Of course, from the word trust now, they are entrusting whoever is managing that REIT, that trust, that fund. They are entrusting the power of managing that fund to that person. So most of the time, let me give you a practical example and some of the things that really happen in industry. I just want to be practical as much as possible with us. So for instance, now you can set up a cooperative, and that cooperative can serve as a REIT for your project. So everybody, all the cooperators in that cooperative can be the one funding your project. And of course, they know that when they fund the project, they probably, let's say you are building a 12 unit of apartment, for instance. You raise the funds from the cooperators after selling and you pay them back. So that is one of the advantage of REIT. There are different platforms you can organize a REIT on. I'm just giving you an example of how it works. It is called the Real Estate Investment Trust. So these are funds that you are entrusted to by a group of people. They can know themselves, and it's possible that they don't know themselves. So, of course, like I said, I can't give you further details in the confines of this video. The next one is another creative way to finance. I hope you are getting value. So for this next one is selling your assets and selling them for cheap. I mean, some of you might be wondering, what's the meaning of this? Okay, yes. There are different creative ways, and which some of them have been sharing already, that you can finance your project. One of such ways is selling your asset. Now, for real estate, let's say, let me give you this for free. This is a consultancy level, high level freebie that I'm giving to you right now. So let's say you are thinking of starting a project that is going to cost you a lot of money. You can decide to do land banking, for instance, mark it up, sell the land banking over a period of 24 months, for instance. Doing that over the course of 24 months, because people are going to pay over the course of 24 months. And that same 24 months is the project duration. Because that same 24 months is your project duration. So as people are paying, they are going to be paying you at a profit, and you are going to be using it for the project. So let me just drop it there. If in case you need further guidance, of course, I can put you through. So you are selling the asset for cheap at a profit. It's going to really, really help you to raise funds and finance your project. Next is royalty financing. So you might be wondering, which one is royalty financing? Probably this is even the first time you are hearing this. So basically, this type of financing is a form of debt financing. However, what you're promising the investors that you are going to be raising this fund from is the fact that they are going to be getting some form of rental income or a percentage of the rental income over a period of time or for life. So basically, they are just co-owning the property. So you are using their fund to co-own the property. Let's say you are building a 12 unit of apartment, for instance, and let's say it's going to cost you, hypothetically, 100 million naira. So you see, guys, I'm going to be giving you 5% per annum, bring in your money. For those that are interested, they'll bring in their money. So that 5% per annum is representing a percentage. Or you can be telling them that, okay, for anything we are getting as rent, I'm going to be giving you 50% of the rent. I'll share it with all the people financing this project. Or 80% as rent. I'm going to be sharing with all the people that are financing this project. So this is another creative way to finance your project. I hope you are getting value for this.